On a quiet street in a small American town, a little boy named Ethan and his younger sister Lily often sat on the steps of their rundown apartment building. Their mother worked 2 jobs, and their father had passed away years earlier. Life had not been easy, but Ethan, at just 12 years old, had made a promise to himself that he would always look out for his sister. Lily was only 9, shy, and gentle as a feather. She rarely spoke to strangers, but when she did, her voice carried a softness that could melt even the hardest heart. One chilly afternoon, as they sat together humming tunes to distract themselves from hunger, their neighbor, Mrs. Ramirez, overheard them. She stopped, stunned by the harmony of their voices. "My goodness," she whispered, "do you two realize what a gift you have?" Ethan laughed awkwardly. "It's just something we do for fun. Mom says Dad used to sing, too." Mrs. Ramirez smiled warmly. "The world needs to hear you both. Promise me you'll never stop singing." Weeks later, a flyer appeared at the community center, local talent show, winner moves to state competition. The prize included a scholarship fund, and Ethan knew it could help relieve some of their mother's burden. But entering meant singing in front of a crowd, something Lily had never done. When Ethan told her about it, her eyes widened with fear. "I can't, what if they laugh at me?" she whispered. Ethan knelt beside her. "They won't, Lily. If you sing with me, you'll see, they'll only feel your heart." The night of the show arrived. The auditorium buzzed with chatter as performers showcased juggling, dancing, and comedy. When the host called, "Next up, Ethan and Lily Harper," the siblings walked nervously onto the stage. Lily clutched her brother's hand so tightly he could feel it tremble. The audience grew quiet, some people even whispering, "Just kids." What could they do? The music began, soft piano chords filling the hall. Ethan started with a steady tone, his voice clear and strong, carrying a maturity beyond his years. Then Lily joined in. The instant her delicate, angelic voice floated through the air, the entire auditorium froze. It was pure, haunting, and unshakably beautiful. Her shyness melted away as she harmonized with Ethan, their voices blending in perfect union. Mothers in the audience reached for tissues, fathers sat straighter in their seats, and even the judges looked at each other in awe. By the time the siblings reached the chorus, people were standing, clapping in rhythm, some even crying. When the final note lingered in the air, the silence was deafening, until the auditorium erupted with cheers so thunderous that Lily covered her ears in surprise. Tears glistened in her eyes as Ethan squeezed her hand proudly. But the most unexpected moment came after the show. A well-dressed man approached their mother backstage. "I'm Jonathan West," he said gently. "I work with a foundation that supports young artists. Your children, they don't just sing, they heal. I've never heard anything so moving." He handed her a card. "I'd like to sponsor their music education, if you'll allow it." Their mother, overwhelmed, could barely speak. She pulled her children close, whispering, "Your voices are a gift, and now they'll open doors we never dreamed of." Ethan and Lily didn't fully understand then, but they knew something extraordinary had just happened. Months passed, and videos of their performance spread online. Strangers around the world shared their duet with captions like, "These kids restored my faith in humanity," and "Voices like angels, reminds me what love sounds like." Messages poured in from people saying the siblings' voices had helped them through grief, loneliness, and despair. Ethan and Lily realized that their music was more than just sound, it was hope. One evening, as they practiced at home, Lily looked at her brother and whispered, "Do you think Dad can hear us in heaven?" Ethan smiled softly, placing an arm around her. "I think he's the one making sure the world hears us." Their journey wasn't about fame or fortune. It was about kindness, the way Mrs. Ramirez encouraged them, the way the audience believed in them, the way a stranger chose to invest in their future. Every act of generosity stitched together a path that carried them forward. Years later, when Ethan and Lily stood on a grand stage, their voices soaring over thousands, they still remembered that first small-town talent show. They remembered their mother's tired but hopeful smile. They remembered trembling hands and the moment courage bloomed into something bigger than fear. And above all, they remembered this truth. Glowing star, sometimes the smallest voices can echo the loudest in the world, not because of their power, but because of the love carried within them.